Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
So Jeff Horn defended his WBO World Welterweight title against Terence Crawford. Of course, Terence Crawford was former undisputed champion at £140, and this was his debut at 147. And a lot of people were asking, does he have power? Can he take shots from a bigger guy? And all these things were answered, that is for sure. I did watch it live, but I didn't do a fight review because it was 5 o'clock in the morning and I was too tired to do so, as I'm sure you guys can understand. So it was a very one-sided fight in favour of Terence Crawford. Very, very one-sided. If I really wanted to be generous, I could probably give Jeff Horn 2 rounds if I really, really wanted to be generous. But ultimately, it didn't matter because Jeff Horn got stopped for the first time in his career. Well, not only did he get stopped for the first time, but he lost for the first time in his career. Round number 9, he gets dropped, and you could almost see it coming through multiple rounds there, that Jeff Horn was taking some big shots, and I'm thinking it's only a matter of time now, I think. And that's ultimately what it was. And he got dropped, round number 9, he made the count, got up, and Terence Crawford just unloaded on him, and the referee stepped in. There's an argument to be made that the referee stepped in too early, put a halt to the fight too early. There is an argument to be made, but for me, I think the referee did the right thing. I do, because it's not like Jeff Horn was really going to recover and just catch Terence Crawford. There was no comeback. Now, don't get me wrong, Jeff Horn tried from the opening bell until when it closed. He came to fight. He's got a warrior's heart, and anybody who's a Jeff Horn fan, I'm a Jeff Horn fan, you've got to be proud of him, the fact that he did come to try and win that fight. You know, he came to rough him up, but Terence Crawford was having none of it. And he controlled him with a jab, and was at times almost hitting Jeff Horn at will with the big shots. And Jeff Horn was taking them. You know, I'm not going to say he wasn't hurt. I mean, of course he was hurt, but he just kept coming forward, and he's got a very, very good granite chin. There's no doubt about that. No doubt. He ate some big uppercuts, big overhands, and as I said, Jeff Horn just kept coming forward, but he wasn't landing enough to win the rounds. Terence Crawford was in full control. There were some things answered, that's for sure. One of them is that Terence Crawford can hang with the bigger guys. Jeff Horn is a big welterweight, if that makes sense. So he really struggled to make weight. There were a few games played with the scales, the weigh-in, and a few things like that beforehand. But it's part and parcel. It did get highlighted only because Jeff Horn and his team highlighted them. But in a lot of camps and in a lot of fights, these things happen. They're just not highlighted. So there's no real complaints about anything. No complaints about the referee. No complaints about anything. Terence Crawford handled him, and big props to him. I mean, is this a case of he is definitely pound for pound number 1? Potentially, but of course a lot of Terence Crawford fans, of course I like Terence Crawford as well, but a lot of the hardcore fans who really rate him and have been rating him for some time will give him all the props in the world for being pound for pound number 1. He just moved up in weight and defeated Jeff Horn, when previously they were saying that Jeff Horn is food for anyone. You know, he got a lucky victory over Manny Pacquiao. You know, the judges robbed Pacquiao and all that kind of thing. For me, I disagree. For me, I always felt that Jeff Horn was a legitimate world champion. I always felt that he was tough, and he's a worthy champion. He defended it against Gary Corcoran, who again is a very, very tough guy. But against Terence Crawford, see, for me, of course, I was questioning, can Terence Crawford take big shots? Can he take the power? Can he be roughed up by bigger guys? And he can be roughed up, and he was roughed up at times, and he was dogged. He was on the back foot at times, but he handled it. This is where the superior boxing skills come in handy. So you don't always need power to win these fights. It's just one of those things that if you've got confidence in your own ability and you've got very, very good footwork where you can get in and out of range, exactly like Terence Crawford has, then yeah. So going forward, ultimately, of course, we'd all like to see Terence Crawford defend that title at some point. against Errol Spence Jr. It doesn't have to be next, of course. Ideally, that would be great. Or the Thurman, or of course maybe Porter and Garcia winner. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, with all the different network promotions, and neither one wants to give in because both of them want to show it, and whatever else it'll be, it's going to be complicated. That's for sure. But ultimately, we'll have to wait and see what happens. For me, Terence Crawford has proved that he is a legitimate 147 pounder. But of course, with Errol Spence Jr., he's got more power, you could argue, than Jeff Horn, especially with the body shots. That will slow down Terence Crawford, because Terence Crawford, I think he's weak to the body, because whenever he gets hit to the body, his arms come down, and that's going to play into the hands of somebody like Errol Spence Jr., which, he followed through with his big left. Keith Thurman, again, he's a very skillful fast boxer, very, very, very clever in the ring. So ultimately, we'll have to wait and see, but it wouldn't surprise me if Terence Crawford did become undisputed at 147. That would be something, wouldn't it? Undisputed at 2 different weight classes. Fantastic stuff. But anyway, it was a good fight. It's not like Terence Crawford just dominated and Jeff Horn didn't do anything. It's not like that at all. It's just a case of, for me, Terence Crawford won about 2 minutes of each round, where Jeff Horn was, he probably won about a minute, 30 seconds of each round. It's that kind of thing. So it was a couple of swing rounds, as I said, and if I really want to be generous, I could give Jeff Horn a couple of rounds, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. He got stopped. So congratulations to Terence Bo Crawford. He is now the WBO 147 pound welterweight world champion. Drop your thoughts below on this fight. How did you see it going? Do you think Terence Crawford is legit at 147? Of what I've seen, it's just my opinion, of course, I'll say yes. Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.